Are you tired of feeling like your memory's slipping away? Can't remember why you walked into a room or what day it is? Look, it's not just getting older. It might be dehydration, stress, or even the junk you're eating. And everybody knows Brett eats junk. That's right. You might not just be low on brain juice or brain cells. You might just be low on liquid. In today's episode of Retirement Today, we're diving deep, but not too sciencey, into the forgotten truth about memory loss. No long lectures, no white label coats, just surprising causes, simple fixes, and some good old George Carlin style real talk. You'll laugh, you'll learn, and by the end, you might just remember where your car keys are. Well, let's face it, your brain isn't broken, it's just thirsty. So let's talk about that. Your brain is very similar to operating like a battery. If your battery on your golf cart runs out of fluid, guess what? You're buying new batteries and, on to the next day. But it didn't die. Sometimes just adding a little water to those batteries in the golf cart, it'll go another 100 miles. Your brain, technically, we'll talk about a little bit about the technical part of it, runs on electric signals. And no different than a battery, no water plus electrolytes equals short circuits. So basically it means that the more you're dehydrated, the less likely your brain is to work. Most seniors are walking around like iPhones on 1% battery, blurry, glitchy, and about to shut down. But like your iPhone, unlike your iPhone, you can't just plug it in at Starbucks. Here's a good fact to remember. Mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% in your body, can reduce cognitive performance and memory-specific tasks. Studies have shown that mild dehydration can negatively affect performance in tasks requiring attention and motor skills. An example of impaired function at 2% of hydration, it's been linked to what we all see probably as the number one thing, our short-term memory. Why did we come in the room? What did we come for? I don't remember. And then 2 seconds later, we remember. It takes a little time to rewind that tape. Many people believe memory loss is just a natural part of aging, or that it's only related to serious conditions like Alzheimer's. This totally is a misconception, and this misconception can lead to a lack of awareness about the actual causes and potential preventions of memory loss. Got to spit all that out. Some think it's solely genetic, while others believe it's due to a decline in cognitive function that comes with age. So basically, you're sort of reverting back to the whole diaper stage and stupidity, but that's really not the truth at all. And, funny is that I picked this Natural Geographic up on the newsstand, and I did spend a good couple days, reading through here. And yes, it has about 30 pages of all the technical mumbo-jumbo that, only Dr. Phil understands. But it did have some good points about how our brain works and what we can do to, increase our performance. However, these are not the only factors, at play, and not all of them are directly related to age or disease. Everybody seems to think we all have a disease if we can't remember where our keys are, and that's not the truth. The most overlooked cause of brain fog is simple. It's hydration and electrolyte balance. I'm sure you've heard over and over, well, you should buy water with electrolytes. And, to be honest with you, like drinking Gatorade with electrolytes is a great source of straightening out mental clarity. You're not forgetful. You're just dry. Your brain is shriveling like a raisin in the sun because your water intake is low and your stress is high. Just recently I was on a trip And we saw this. Everybody has somebody in their family whose memory seems to slide a little bit from time to time. And in the heat and with no hydration, all of a sudden you really seem to see that breaking point between where am I, who am I, why are we here, becomes much stronger. And the reality is a quick bottle of Gatorade and, you can recover from this. I forgot. And most people will say, I forgot I was dehydrated. I was so busy with whatever we were doing. I got up, got ready to go, and here we're out in the world, and I didn't even have a coffee in the morning. Another huge factor is stress. For instance, stress plays a significant role in memory loss, as high levels of anxiety severely impair your brain function. So, to understand it more simply, your brain is so consumed with the things that are stressing you out, your memory capacity is narrowing because your mind is going on circles on paying the bills or feeding the dog or walking the dog or the things that you got to do today. Your brain doesn't have the capability to focus on what you need to do right now. Another king of that we see over and over again is lack of sleep. Sleep is another critical factor because what happens in your sleep, your brain consolidates memories. So, we always think that we're dreaming and we're doing all of these things. And in some cases, it is your brain putting everything in order in its memory, its hard drive. It's putting it all back there. Or like me, your brain is telling you some stupid story about jumping off a cliff and forgetting to put a parachute on. No. And then there is diet. My wife talks about it all the time at Live Well with Natalie, that diet has such a significant impact on so many different things. And, she's always trying to get me to eat better. And if you saw the way I used to eat better, there's so much room for better that it is nonstop because all I did was eat donuts, cookies, and head to get a big gulp. So I'm sorry, that is the way I lived 30 years. When you lack the essential nutrients that, we've all learned, the food groups for years that we needed to get a little bit of each of these food groups in order to live healthy. But when you don't get these could lead to memory loss. Believe it or not, if your brain doesn't have, fluid, electrolytes, and some of those nutrients it also requires, you're going to, lack cognitive recollection. So there are certain medical conditions such as hypothyroidism, or vitamin deficiencies that can also contribute to memory loss. I know your thyroid not only plays a big part in your diet, what you eat, and your health, but your thyroid, amazingly, also contributes to memory loss. We also, at this point, want to stop for a second and highlight the importance of regular checkups. Go to the doctor, get your blood work done, find out what your mineral status is, and find out really what your system needs. And your blood work is a key indicator on what your body is really looking for. It's not what you drink, we think. It's how much you drink. And eliminating chronic stress, eliminating thyroid problems, those things that affect those parts of your brain that stores your memory. And to be honest with you, it seems that our long-term memory is so deep in the brain system that, we feel like there's nothing really wrong with us because we can remember what happened 20 years ago. We just can't remember why we're sitting here talking to you today. Stress isn't just ruining your day, it's stealing your memories. Ever freak out? That's a memory that you could have had. Proof gone. Meditation, let's look at some cures and some things that you can do today. Meditation, walking, and laughter. Yes, laughter. Laughter is interaction with friends, families, or sometimes, like me, I'm just laughing at myself. These are all proven to rehydrate your mind and calm your circuits. Take a moment to relax and calm down and focus on what's going on right now. Hidden factors that can also play a significant role in memory loss, such as, environmental toxins or effects of long-term medication use. Now, there's another king that we all seem to look. Sometimes when you go to the doctor, you might ask, is it time to curb these medications, or am I taking them for my entire life because I feel like it's affecting my memory? And these lesser-known causes can be just as impactful as the more common recognized ones. And then there's smoking. I remember growing up that smoking was literally everywhere. Now today, if we walk into a restaurant or a casino or somewhere where smoking is allowed, we think, wow, how did we ever deal with that? And the other side of smoking, guess what? Excessive alcohol consumption. I think that excessive alcohol consumption is self-explanatory because it's an immediate brain lapse. You have no idea why you did this or why you're here or even where your car is, the car that you shouldn't be driving. Call Lyft, call Uber, call somebody, come get you. That will significantly impair your memory. And, for anybody who's gone to a party or done anything and woke up the next morning and go, wow, I can't remember what I even did last night. Yeah, well, welcome to alcohol. The impact of these factors can be, very small at first, but can escalate over time, making early awareness and intervention crucial. Here are some of the things that science misses. And we're going to talk about, this article. This article, that I was talking about earlier here about memory is 30 pages of jargon. But I got to tell you, the last 10 pages are really, really a wealth of knowledge. We don't need to know how neurons fire in the disortal prefrontal cortex or prefrontal cortex. We need to remember why we walked into the kitchen. It's not that complicated. So let me give you a couple things that I believe can help you today. So here it is, the deal. 8 glasses of water a day. And a lot of people I know and friends and family I know drink less than 2 glasses a day. And that is literally frying your brain. Reduce screen time before bed. Boom, your brain's back online. When you're reevaluating your understanding of memory loss, remembering to remember what you need to do, it becomes clear that it's not just about aging or genetics, but about a complex array of factors that can be influenced primarily by lifestyle choices. It's time to recognize that the multiple causes of memory loss, we can take small steps to change. It might be, simple things like altering your diet, eating food that's healthy for you. Get away from all the fried foods. I love McDonald's French fries like everybody else, but boy, I'll tell you, unless it's a vacation or it's some rare event, I stay away from McDonald's these days. It's time to mitigate memory loss and, change your lifestyle daily choices. Let's get everything back in order. So here it is. Let's look at the daily memory checklist. First, drink 8 ounces of water every 2 hours. Add electrolytes or drink something that has electrolytes in it. Even a pinch of Himalayan salt will improve your memory. Take 10 minutes to stop thinking about everything that you've got to do. Sit down quietly by the pool, in the corner, under the tree. I don't care where. Go out to the garden. Throw a chair out there. Sit down and just think about nothing. Yes, think about nothing. Quiet down, slow down, and just take a minute for yourself. Don't trust your memory. Write it down, or like I do, when I think my mind is overcome with things that I've got to remember, I text myself. Yes, you can actually send a text message to yourself. So, hey, it works for me. The other thing, get 7-8 hours of sleep at night and no dozing off during the day. Dozing off during the day is absolutely one of the worst things you can do. Get that good sleep at night. Get your brain refocused in the evening and let it run its full backup. That's what it's doing. It's running a backup, just like, a crazy computer. So get that sleep at night. Do what you got to do during the day to not snooze the day away, and get it all done at night. Hey, comment memory in the comments below and we'll send you the Memory Boost Guide. It's perfect for the over 50 crowd who still want to remember why they walked into the room. Remember, you're not broken. You're just thirsty for water. Yes, but also for life, laughter, and purpose. Memory isn't about what's behind you. It's about what's ahead. You don't want to forget going to your granddaughter's birthday party. Your life is the story. Your passion is the product. This is Brett on the Go for Retirement Today, and you, my friend, are just getting started. If you've experienced memory loss or have tips on how to maintain a healthy brain, boy, we'd love to hear what works for you. Share your story in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video where we're going to talk about fighting brain fog one hobby at a time. See you next time. Brett on the Go for Retirement Today.